when did you realize you wanted to become a teacher?
When I was 6.
When I was very little, I thought I would be English teacher at first. When I was like 12, I think.
Pretty early on, because both my parents were teachers, and so my dad was a chemistry and physics teacher, and my mom was a music teacher, and actually I have grandparents on both sides that were teachers as well.
I loved those little worksheets, and so I would pull them out of the recycling bin and like save them and take them home, and then in the summer I would like make imaginary permission slips for neighborhood kids to come to my summer school, and then I would use the worksheets that I had saved all year to like teach my imaginary summer school. So yeah, I've wanted to be a teacher for my whole life.
So I kind of liked the idea of it. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do or what I wanted to teach, but I knew I was going to be a teacher.
And did you have any teachers who inspired you or influenced the way you teach along the way?
Yeah, a lot.
Both my parents were pretty strong influences on how I wanted to teach. I think my mother was, even though she was a music teacher, gave me some insights on how to maybe deal with kids. And I think my dad was a really heavy influence on how to approach the teaching of, say, a science class.
When I was in high school, I had a teacher named Mrs. Whiteman, and she was our junior honors teacher, and in our school that was British literature, so it was like Beowulf to Oscar Wilde. And she was like the hardest teacher I'd ever had in my entire life, and so great. She went through our papers with a fine-tooth comb. She gave us feedback on every aspect of our writing. She demanded that we read a lot, and I read more in that class than I probably have ever read. But then she was also so warm, like I knew she loved us.
He was my science teacher in the 7th and 8th grade, and he was my PE teacher in the 7th and 8th grade. And somehow, I think my mother said that she had heard enough about Mr. Landers that I shouldn't be, so taken up with one person.
And what do you enjoy most about teaching?
Kids. I like being with students. I feel like I learn something every day, so even though I'm teaching the same books every year, I still get to learn because I'm hearing it through different eyes or seeing it through different eyes every year, and I love that.
That moment when you know that for some it clicks, like you teach something and it's hard concept, and then you see it's visible, it's like physically visible that it clicked and they get it, and so.
It's the money. No, I mean, actually I think there are a couple things I really like. Number one, I like coming to work every day where I enjoy the people that I work with. And I think that's really important in any job. And I enjoy working with students. It sounds kind of silly, but if you don't like working with students, why are you in this job?
And what do you find most challenging?
The paper load. I think it's really hard, especially as an English teacher. You know, if I spend 20 minutes on a paper and I have 60 students in a section, it's a lot. That's a lot of time.
Most challenging is grades, and well, not grades, but grade bickering.
When you have students who have the ability, who simply will not meet you halfway.
And what's the craziest thing that's ever happened in your classroom, or do you have any like fun teaching anecdotes about?
Oh my God.
I guess the fun one was when we put the origami frog on top of the blue bottle, and that was the very first time it happened, and so we made the reaction happen between the methanol that was in the blue bottle and oxygen, and all of a sudden you hear the whoosh, you see the origami frog go up, the ceiling tile opens up, the frog goes up, the ceiling tile snaps shut, never saw the frog again.
I joke about Gladys, the French classroom ghost, but I don't know. the door keeps going up and down, like the handle by itself, and I don't know, sometimes I hear my name in the class by myself. I don't know, Gladys. We call her Gladys.
Oh, also once we all dressed up like Harry Potter characters and went to see one of the Harry Potter shows at Sycamore. That was really fun. That's not really wild or crazy. I'm not really a wild or crazy person. You gotta go with FetWise for that.
And what was your high school experience like, and how does that compare with what you see now?
I was an exceptionally unaware human being as a high school student. I mean, politically unaware, emotionally unaware. I had no idea about the social dynamics around me. I wore sweatpants and a ponytail every day, and just preferred reading to people. Which is terrible. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud.
Well, it was in Green Hill, Alabama, which is a small rural high school. Played on the basketball team through the 10th grade. I don't know what I was voted. Some kind of thing like the treasurer or the secretary of like the class, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I got in trouble at school, and one of the things they said was, you can't be a class officer anymore. So my honor was taken away from me. Now it really doesn't matter a whole lot because I can't even remember what the name of the honor was. So, I don't know. Tell me something else. Ask me something else.
It was very different because high school was, in France, high school is like your first job. So you don't have any kind of distraction other than classes and stuff. So
one way in which it was different from, say, City High School is that we had what was called the smoking alley, and it was just fine to smoke cigarettes. You just needed to do it only in the smoking alley. Seems really bizarre now. Very bizarre.
I went to a school where my graduating class was 80 students, and it was nice because it was a nice sized school, but the competition level between students in a school that size is not like what it is here.
So it's a lot more fun to be a teacher than it was to be a student, because I'm not saying I'm exceptionally aware now, but I'm a little more aware. And that makes it, you know, I think a little bit more entertaining and engaging to be with people and interacting.
That's all I have for questions. Anything else you want to say about?
well, go Little Hawks.